I'm Brian Weaver with TE Connectivity. I'm going to explain today what the retrofit kits are for the Cat2P Ethernet work cell. There's two retrofit kits. There's one for Cat's B5 M6 connector, as well as their 44P and 49P connector. So in each kit, you'll receive a lacing fixture for that application. You'll receive the applicator, as well as the sensor mount that should be attached to the applicator. And then you will also receive either, depending on if you order the Dash 1 assembly, you'll receive an entire arbor press with the strip tooling already mounted. Or if you order the Dash 2 version of that retrofit kit, you'll just receive the strip tooling itself, and you'll have to mount it to your existing arbor press that you received with your original 2P Ethernet work cell. So if you do receive just the strip tooling, what you'll have to do to mount it, to mount the lower tooling, there are two screws that you'll have to loosen and disassemble. Then to mount the upper tooling, there's 4 screws around the periphery of the top of the tooling. You'll have to remove those. When you assemble the conversion kit or the retrofit kit, you'll probably need to float in the tooling. So the best way to do this is to mount the upper tooling first, lock it down hard, and then leave the 2 screws that mount the lower tooling loose, and then bring the ram down to bring the tooling together so they mate, and then tighten the 2 lower screws. If you find that there's some misalignment front to back, simply loosen the 4 screws around the base of the arbor mount and adjust the lower mount front to back until upper and lower tooling align, and then lock down the screws. There's other adjustments at the top of the tooling. If you find that when you assemble the tooling and you go to strip some wire, that you're either cutting into the actual copper wires of the conductors, you might need to increase this adjustment so that the ram doesn't come so far down that you're actually cutting into the wires, and vice versa. If you're not cutting far enough, make the adjustment so that the ram comes down further so that you get a cleaner strip. You'll notice if this isn't properly adjusted that it's a lot harder to pull back on the lacing fixture when you go to strip the wires. Also, on the lacing fixture, you should never have to adjust this. This should come from the factory adjusted properly. This adjustment controls the breakout length of your jacketed cable. The adjustment on the strip tooling, this moves front to back, and this adjusts the wire brush of your crimps, of your strip tooling. So as you run through the process and you find that there's too much wire brush extending beyond the end of the crimp, you would want to adjust this in further in order to reduce the amount of wire brush, and vice versa. If there's not enough wire brush, then you're going to want to adjust this out a little bit. And generally what I do, what I find is easiest, you can do this either with pin gauges or feeler gauges, is initially find the pin gauge that fits behind here in this area, and then that'll be your baseline dimension, and then from there make the adjustment accordingly. So if you want to move it back further, I have a 43 thousandths of an inch pin gauge here. If you want to move it back 20 thousandths, you would go then to a 23 thousandths pin gauge. Put it behind there, loosen these two, push it back, and tighten those two screws down to make your adjustment for the wire brush.